With me, Pam Joseph, now in the house. This has been a lovely morning for me. I've had some inspiring talks, I've had some motivational moves within myself with these ladies that I've had on the show, and it hasn't stopped here now. We've got a lady by the name of Samantha Sutherland. Her motto is, turn your passions into profits. If I can do it, you can too. I just think that's so lovely. Samantha,
thank you so much.
Lovely to have you on the show. Lovely. You're used to all this because you do your own TV.
Yes, I've got an online TV show called Samantha Sutherland TV, and mine's not as as elaborate as yours, but yeah, so I do a fair bit of interviewing as well. Yeah.
But let's talk about yourself. I mean, if I say, looking at this lady here, let's keep the camera. No, keep the camera on Samantha. Keep the camera. If I tell you, homeless teenager, she turned from that to an entrepreneur. Can you believe this? This is it, and more than that. Now, talk to me, because in the break, you was telling me a little bit more. You were sacked on your birthday, and you was doing what?
Okay, I had been working as a PA to director level for a number of years, and I moved around in different industries, got very tired of it, and really tired of commuting into central London on the tube. I don't know if you've done much of it, but it's horrible in the morning. You have to push people on the back to get a little bit of space to squeeze in.
Smelling in as well.
And then you get people like pinching, you know, from
pushing themselves.
Poor me. So I decided I'd try to work closer to home, and I looked at different things that I could do where I'd be able to earn similar money, and I came to the decision that I'd become an estate agent because the earning potential was such that I could earn similar or more.
No,
yeah.
It's up to you.
So I had a couple of interviews and opted for the company that was a corporate firm, so I'll be able to work my way up the ladder. And to be fair, you know, one day I was saying to myself, well, it would be lovely if I could work my way up to the level of having my own branch, have that for a year, and then start my own business. Yeah, the area manager interviewed me, but the branch manager was the person who was going to be my boss, and he never met me until the day I arrived to the office. And to be fair, I just thought maybe, you know, after the fact that maybe he just didn't like me. Maybe I was just too outgoing. On my days off, I would go and source properties to bring in.
Wasn't
he hasn't actually come to me and say what his problem was, but he worked very hard, you know, to get me the sack, which happened on my birthday, which was a month and a day after I'd actually started working for that company. Now, if I tell you that was the best birthday present of my life to date.
It sounds really surreal, but it's so
it really
true.
was, because for 12 years leading up to that, I dabbled with the idea of having a business. I knew I would have one. I just didn't know what it would be, and I took my time about it.
It's that kick up the proverbial.
Absolutely, it was the kick up the butt that I needed at that time. And you know, I saw all the signs, and I thought, right, that's it. Of course, I was a bit angry about it. I left that office, walked around the corner to my hairdresser's, and within 8 minutes I made the decision as to what my next step should be, because I still need to earn money. Well, it didn't take that long, seriously. I didn't have time to get upset about it. Well, you know when you're doing a good job Okay, so
and you know it. And
I
you
knew
know
I
it
was
so
doing a
well,
good job.
yeah.
I was doing more than what some other
Yeah.
people were doing in the office.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
without being asked, I was bringing properties into that office
Yeah.
where we can all, you know, benefit from the commission. Not everybody was doing that. I was the only one that was doing it that wasn't getting paid to do it, but I was so passionate about what I was doing and really wanted to do well,
Imagine.
but my passion was what actually got me the sack.
Yeah.
But like I say, it was a good thing for me.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I made that decision, and the next day I started my business. It took 6 days to turn a profit. I knew how to get the properties in. I knew how to do the viewings. I didn't know all the rest of it, but I learnt it very quickly. And yeah, that's pretty much my business startup story. So.
Okay. Well, that is a brilliant startup story. That is brilliant. We must talk. But this is a lot more than this now. So from there, starting your own business, that you decided you're going to use your expertise and train.
Yeah, the recession was taking a firm grip in this country. It still is. And last year, I looked at it and I thought, well, I know that there's a lot of people that will be leaving education. Some people from some backgrounds may not be so high up on the food chain when it comes to employment opportunities. There will be people that had been made redundant and maybe they're slightly older than what some employers may be looking for right now. And I said to myself, well, it's not going to hurt me financially to train people how to do exactly the same thing. I know it's something that you can start. I made a profit in 6 days, and it kept me going. I've never worked for anybody else since, you know. So I started packaging up my knowledge and my skill so that I'll be able to train people on how they can set up their own online letting agency and trade from home with very low outlay and very high returns.
Yeah, very high returns, and this is what I want to know.
Yeah.
This is what has got you into people's minds and things. And you've got this TV online, as you say, but you've got this TV show now.
Yeah.
Where you're almost like a mentor, a TV mentor, if you will, inspirational speaker, motivational speaker.
Right.
You deserve to do that because you, of course, have the experience.
Well, I think if you're going to advise anybody on something, you should have been through, you know, something
That's it.
very similar. I'm really just talking about what I walk really at the end of the day, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that would think, oh my gosh, you know, start a business, that's a big thing. It really isn't. There's nothing at all to be fearful of.
It can look frightening.
It looks frightening.
When you talk about double-dip recession again now, it's like,
it looks frightening, but the truth of the matter is that there are many successful businesses that are created and started in times of recession. Okay? So if people are actually going to dip their hand in their pocket and pay for a product or a service in a recession, trust me, you're going to do well. So this is the perfect time to start a business. But the online TV show really started from my online radio show, Startup Great Britain.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been busy.
Where was that one?
That was on Blog Talk Radio.
Okay.
It still is there, so people can actually log on to blogtalkradio.com. And it's online, so it's global, and you know I've got a global audience, and I'm very happy that people are actually really interested in the show. So I've been interviewing entrepreneurs because, like I say, you know, there's a lot of people out there that will think, oh, you know, to start a business, I've got to have degrees, I've got to have business training, you don't, you really don't, you know. So I wanted to interview my entrepreneur friends on the radio show. So that we could demystify the business world, so that people will know, you know what, there's a lot of them that started with hardly any money. I mean, I started my business with £30. £30, that £30 keeps paying.
30 quid.
Yes.
Damn.
I only...
What was £30 per person? I can stop. I don't believe that. Really?
Yeah, £30. The power of the internet. Seriously. A number of years ago, if I wanted to start a letting agency, I would have had to have a high street shop, a number of staff, all the expenses that go with it, plus pay business rates because you're, you know, working from that sort of premises. But to trade from home, which is where a lot of businesses can trade from now, a lot of the bills, a lot of the expenses that you're paying out, you're already paying for. You're already paying for your mortgage or for your rent. You're already paying the bills, you're already paying the council tax, you've already got internet access and phone. So, you know, that's why I say £30, really. And if I were to do it again, I would not spend £30, but it was, you know, what I was thinking at the time. It was a good idea for me.
Yeah, of course it was. And look how it paid off.
Yeah, so the radio show was really about demystifying the business world so that I could introduce a number of other people similar to me who started with low budgets, who started from some really terrible situations, you know, where they were on the brink of falling into a really bad state of depression, etc., etc. And they all took the decision, just like I did, that, you know what, I'm going to go and start my own business. So by people hearing these stories on a regular basis from lots of different entrepreneurs, it is inspiring.
But the one thing I'm going to ask you is that, apart from the fact that may not have capital and have to maybe go somewhere to get that, but it's the business tax, the government business tax, that frightens a lot of people.
Okay, as far as taxation is concerned, as long as you are reinvesting in your business, well, okay, let me put it another way.
Yeah.
The majority of the tax that the government earns, okay, is from employees, not from business owners, okay? So when I started my business and I had to do the first tax return, I was very scared because I was so busy getting on with my business that I totally forgot about tax. Totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
So this is my very first business. It didn't occur to me. I was like, oh my gosh, you know, when it just lands there.
Yeah.
So I was very nervous. I was thinking, how much is this going to be?
Yeah.
When my accountant did the tax return and I looked at the figure, I had to question him. I said, is this right? And he explained it to me.
It was small. It's smaller than
he explained it to me. And to be fair, as a PA working in central London, I actually paid for my business the first year. It was less than 1 month's worth of tax as an employee. What? Yes. So as long as you're, well, follow the show, you know, you'll get to know how all these things work. But the people that are paying the most tax are the employees, not necessarily the business owners.
So the amount of employees that you had, you're paying more.
The amount of employees that the government has access to, when you think about it, the majority of the country are employees versus the small minority of us that are entrepreneurs. So obviously you're going to be stinging the masses as opposed to the small few. The small few, we can always pick ourselves up and go to other countries. Yeah. So the incentive is, yes, start your businesses. You're going to employ people. The people that you employ are going to have, you know, to pay a certain amount of tax.
Right.
That's where it's going.
That's where it's going.
So, you know, on that basis alone, I remember when I paid my first tax return, I was just like, wow. Just for this, I'm staying in business, even though I wasn't contemplating working for anybody else again. But I was just like, just for that alone, you know, I'm just going to continue. And I'd recommend to anybody that...
You would recommend it?
Absolutely.
And you have to round up now, but your advice to all those would-be entrepreneurs, people thinking about stepping into their own sort of like enterprise, if you will, and a bit unsure, and as we talk about the double dip recession, what have you, your advice to them, and if you can actually, Samantha, look straight into the camera when you do this.
Okay, which camera? My advice to you would be, don't think about it for too long, okay? Firstly, if you've got something you're passionate about, a skill, a hobby, something like that, start looking at if it is something that you can actually turn into a business. There's a lot of free information that you'll find on my website, which I'm sure we'll be giving you the address of soon.
You can do that right now.
Okay, it's samanthasutherland.com. There's a lot of free information, a lot of guidance. In addition to that, even if you don't have any ideas whatsoever, go onto the website and check out the At Home Jobs video series, where I've actually, on video myself, given you over 20 businesses that you can start from home, your own businesses. So we're not talking about network marketing, we're not talking about multi-level marketing, we're talking about your own businesses. And can I just say that, you know, I'm really pleased that everybody's been watching the show around the world. I'm so grateful, especially as I found out last night that Samantha Sutherland TV has been nominated for an Ebony Business and Recognition Award for Education, Training and Youth Services. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for all of the entrepreneurs that have come onto the show, because obviously without you guys there will be no show. Without the audience there's no show, as I'm sure that you would agree with as well. Sorry, I hijacked the show a little bit, but
no,
thank you so much.
You can, because you look good. You know, it's such a pleasure.
You.
We must keep in touch, though. We've
Absolutely.
got to keep in touch about things, because we like this idea about businesses and entrepreneurs, particularly with our young viewers that watch us, and we need to give them advice and this and that, and you've done so well.
I'm so for young. I mean, last year, just very quickly, I did put on a Young Entrepreneurs Boot Camp, and you know, I've actually got young people that have started their business. I'm just so proud of them.
This is what we need, more of that.
So proud of them.
Sam, you're going to come on regularly and talk to our young viewers
Thank
about. Love the way you won that award.
That was, seriously, I just didn't, I was just like, whoa, you know, so I was like, on my Facebook I was like, wow, wow.
Fantastic. Congratulations,
Amazing.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Love it. Okay, we're going to go for a last break now, and when we come back we're going to sort of relax a little bit, because it's Lifestyle Music Corner. See you in a couple of minutes.